Hello, this is David Bernada from Steema software. I'm going to show you how to use TeeChart component library for RapidStudio XE4 FireMonkey mobile applications for iOS. And let's start with a very basic demo. I'm just going to File, New, FireMonkey mobile application, Delphi, blank application. Then I'm going to the tool palette and search for TeeChart control. TeeChart control is this one. And then I'm going to drag the TeeChart here. I can make it some resizing. Then you can right click TeeChart and select the Edit Chart menu, and this will show the TeeChart editor dialog, where you can change properties like, for example, panel, gradient, visible, and change some colors. You can then go to the main page and say click Add button. This shows the TeeChart series gallery. You can see here the basic charting styles. This gallery is including the Pro charting styles, not only the styles that come with RapidStudio in the TeeChart Lite version. I'm going to choose the bar series here and double click or click OK. You can see the bar series, and then you can double click here or click here in series 1 to show the series 1 editor dialog, where you can change properties like, for instance, the color each property to change the color of each bar. And then if you go to the data source tab, here we can see the data is now random. Random means that it's only for design time. Or you can change this to manual, and then you can type values here like this, or type values, add values by code. I can close now this one. If I double click on the form to go to the form create event, we can just say series 1 clear, and then series 1 add, and values, and optional text, one text for each bar. Okay, so this is the very basic demo, and now I'm going to click the run button to show this running on the Macintosh iOS simulator. And here it shows on the simulator. Okay, now we are going to see one way to live bind a chart to a data source, to a data set. In this case I have here one form similar to the one before. We have a bar series here, and then what I add is an SQL connection component to an SQLite database, local database, one SQL dataset component is a query using this SQL connection, and the query is this one. This is just summing some total field from the table and grouping by another field, which is a country. Okay, then we have this bin source db1 component. This one is connected to the dataset, and then we have this bindings list component, and inside this binding list you have this one bind list one. This one is the bind list expression here in format. Here is where we connect the file by name column 1, this is one of the fields returning from the query, to the series, in this case to the value part of the series, and then the text here is another field from the query to the text expression for the series. So with these two expressions, format expressions, in the binding list, we can, for example, close the table and run the table, and you can see the chart is automatically retrieving values from the table and plotting them. This is using a normal chart, not a DVChart. Okay. Then we can run this to the iOS simulator. And now we are running this demo, and we can see in the simulator our chart, live binding, the SQL Lite database. This database has been deployed to the simulator using the XE4 deployment manager, and the query showing. Another kind of application we can do is a file new FireMonkey mobile application of 3D style. Now we have an empty form. We are going to add a light component. Let me move this light component here. We can make the light to be a point light instead of directional. And then we can add a TeeChart 3D control from the tool palette. Size is very small, so let me resize a little bit, changing height and width. And now we have here one chart, an empty chart. We can double click to show the editor dialog like a normal chart, and then we can, for example, choose bar series, change colors, and we can, for instance, rotate it using the chart editor and change many other properties like titles. Okay. And now here in Macintosh Simulator we can see the 3D chart. There are many things we can do with a chart on a FireMonkey for iOS application. Let's see, one example can be, for instance, if we double click this chart, we can put the legend bottom here. Then we can change the series style, or well, we can change it clicking the change button to a pie. And then, for instance, let me make sure this is okay, the data. We can use the chart or series on click event, like this one, to respond to finger or mouse press on the simulator or the iPad or iPhone device. So let me add here a label, and then we will use the series on click event to fill the label. And then we can run this to show how it works. Or another thing we can do is add a combo box here to change the series style. Like, for example, we can add one item here and see, say, pie, bar, and for example area. And then we will use, well, let's put here 0, we will use the change event of the combo box. And this special method, change all series type, you pass the chart and the class. In this case 0 will be TPy series, one will be bar series, else area. Let's run. Here we can see the simulator on the Mac, and the application will start. Here we can see our chart with the label and this combo. So when I click on any slice on the pie, the text on the label changes, responds to the mouse click or finger touch, and I can change the series style, for instance, to a bar or to an area. I'm going to show now our main TeeChart for FireMonkey demo. Is a desktop demo, but everything can be done for iOS. The same forms and the same charts. This demo gives a good overview of all the features, or most of the features that TeeChart offers. So here is the demo, the main form. I'm going to run it on Windows, on Win32, and I'll start explaining more or less every form here. Here's the TeeChart 3D with some FireMonkey animations running, animating the bars. TeeChart has a standard series styles, standard charting styles. These are the most basic. These ones are included in the free version in Write Studio XE4. Here we can see different styles. For example, for lines, here you can see some features that can be done with each series style. Not everything is here with checkboxes and so on. Bar series, bar can be of different styles and can be aligned stack or different alignments. Area series, everything has a transparency property, so you can hide or make semi-transparent any series over the others. For pies there are many properties like rotation or slice exploding, slice grouping. If we click here, we can see, if we go to the pie editor dialog, all the many properties that you can choose to change a pie, for instance. Fastline is a very simple series style, but the reason is to be the fastest as possible, so you can scroll and zoom and draw many points at the same time. Horizontal bars with the same properties as vertical bars. Horizontal lines, horizontal areas, arrows, bubbles with a radius property for each bubble. Gantt for horizontal bars. Points, many series with many points, with some animations. Then for the FireMonkey 3D, here is a 3D chart with a bar series and a line series. This is using the FireMonkey 3D objects. And we have here a very simple editor. You can select different parts of the chart and then change its colors, materials, position, sizes, etc. another 3D chart. And then for the Pro group of series styles, there are many, but here we have some of them. For instance, the candle series, which is used in financial charting. There are many options to draw the candles. Maps, we provide some polygonal maps. Every map is made of polygons that can be everyone customized with different properties, mouse clicks, zoom, scroll, etc. And there are many maps like the world or Australia or all the continents with different countries and country names, everything. There are 3D series styles that these are displayed paint with the FireMonkey canvas, not with the 3D objects, so you can choose how to paint them. Surfaces have many options like colors or palettes. Tower, chart, contour, well, there are many. Polar, donut. All these series styles can be found here in the TeeChart gallery under these tabs: extended, 3D, financial, statistical, maps, pages. Another thing in the TeeChart Pro version is the DVChart control, which is a normal TeeChart, but it has knowledge to connect to datasets. For instance, this spy series, if you go to the data source tab, it's the same as in the BCL version. You can see this spy is connected to this client dataset on the same form or in a data module, and then you can calculate sum or high, low, average of some field in the dataset and group by another field in the dataset. This is optional, so it's automatic. You don't have to type loops on your dataset. Here this demo is showing the opposite. Here we have one chart with manual data, that data that can be made by code or whatever, and here there is a TeeChart dataset component which links this chart with, for example, a DB grid, a FireMonkey grid with data binding. Crosstabs, that many series are calculated automatically based on field values, and simple dataset access like the animals table. Print preview, there's a print preview control which emulates or simulates a printer paper, and then you can resize the chart or whatever. Functions, there are some function components that make automatic calculations on series data. Here we can see one series, the blue series, and the orange line is an average which is automatically calculated from the blue data. If you go to the editor dialog, you can see the two series, series 1 and the average of series 1. If we go to the average data source, we can see that the function is average and the source is another series, which is series 1. Then there is a gallery of functions. Here we can see the standard functions like average, count, high, low, median, mode. And there are other groups like extended, curve fitting or downsampling, or there are many more. Financial functions used in the financial industries. Functions have parameters, so you can, when you change one function parameter or property, the chart automatically recalculates and repaints. Map functions, moving averages and that, and statistical functions. Live bindings, here we have some demos using live bindings, like this one or this one or this one, with all the different possibilities using format expressions and bind lists. Tools. Tools are another set of components that you can add to a chart. And well, there are many different uses for tools. The main uses are maybe for mouse movements, or finger mouse movements or clicks, like for example this one, or for surface to indicate where is the mouse moving or the finger when touching, to drag points. There are many different tools to rotate a chart using the finger or touch or mouse, to add annotations to charts, rectangles or annotations that can be moved and resized automatically, to show data below one chart, or there are many different ones. Then there is also a subcharts. You can put charts inside charts, and everyone has a different position and size, and these are actually live charts. So here you can have series on this chart, which is a full complete chart with all the properties. This one. There is another function called clustering, which is very not to explain here maybe. Exporting, when exporting chart dialog, you can export one chart to all the different picture formats that FireMonkey provides: BMP, JPEG, PNG, GIF, and here you can specify options like width and height. We provide different others like XAML, PostScript, PDF, or for example HTML5 JavaScript. This one is a little bit special because this is like a canvas. When you draw this chart, the output will not be a picture, will be a script, a JavaScript, with an optional HTML page. So we can now click the preview button here, and it will open a browser. This is the Chrome browser with this HTML page from my local file, and you can see here this is a live chart. It's not a you can scroll or whatever. It's a HTML5 chart. If we right click and view page source, we can see the output that has been automatically generated by the exporter. You can see here this is a JavaScript, and this one is using this our public TeeChart JavaScript file. Okay, and then we have recently added animations to TeeChart both in VCL and FireMonkey, and these are available for desktop and Macintosh and iOS and any other platform. Animations are quite easy to create because you only have to go to an editor dialog and choose from a gallery of animations. You can make animations like this one or like this one, or pie series. We are adding new animations to complete and to make more possibilities. And you can also create the animation objects very similar to FireMonkey animations, and you can create your own animations. And then you specify the properties like speed and duration, etc. And well, that's the FireMonkey demo. Hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you next CodeRage. Thank you very much.
A TeeChart for VCL FMX, TeeChart PHP, HTML5. You can use that with HTML5 Builder, and you can use that for Windows, Mac, and iOS on the VCL FMX. So if we look at some of the questions, Yilmaz asks, he says, it's nice to see a component TeeChart works on iOS, same as Delphi C++. He's just thanking you. We have TeeChart Lite that's built in, but then you can go and get the other editions, right, David? Which gives you all sorts of things. TeeChart Pro with source code, everything.
Yes, it's exactly the same. It's very equivalent. VCL version and FireMonkey version are very similar, and they work on the same.
ADO components. Well, you'll miss ADO components. You can't use ADO on iOS. If you need to go through an ADO provider, then you need to do something like DataSnap and have a DataSnap server that runs on Windows that talks to ADO on Windows. If you want everything on iOS, then you have SQLite database sources and IB Lite database that you can use. You can always have a client server architecture. If there's a client library for iOS, of which, again, the only two I know about are SQLite and iOS and IB Lite interface to go. But if you need to talk to other databases and hook them into TeeChart, then you need to use something like Project Indy or DataSnap or something if the data sources are on Windows. Kenneth was asking, on the maps, can you use GPS coordinates? And I guess he wants to pass latitude and longitude to index around a map and then display data at that point. Is there anything like that, David?
Well, yes, we are using our maps are based on this format. It's called SRID, SHP format. It's a very generic format, and polygons representing countries and counties they follow the latitude and longitude coordinates. The thing is that then we convert these to our chart axis, and if you need to convert to a pixel position on the screen, you need to call one method on the axis, horizontal or vertical axis. So it's perfectly possible. We have one demo. It's only for VCL, not for FireMonkey, but it can be done in FireMonkey, which shows this: how to place, for instance, cities positions with latitude and longitude on the map. I was planning to make a demo, but had no time for this demo, for this conference, using the FireMonkey sensor, the location sensor. And I think I will do this demo and post this at our website.
Okay. Yeah, they have a gallery, and in the support area there's a blog with different videos and samples and so on. Just go to the Steema site and look for that. Yeah. Oh, question, and maybe you covered this because you talked about charts within chart or subcharts. Can a donut chart be nested inside of another larger donut chart, creating a segmented slice that Keith calls a circumplex?
Yes, that's possible, but it's something a little bit manually. So you need to create several donut charts, and then you need to place them manually, calculating the bounding rectangle for each donut, and change the donut %, which is the amount that represents the donut hole in the middle. We have something done but not for VCL and FireMonkey, but it's something I would like to have for next versions. Something that will be done automatically. Right now, when you have more than one pie or donut series, what we do is there's an option to position each series as a grid layout. So it's something to change to position them as concentric. We call them concentric donuts.
George was asking the TeeCharts work on iPad and Windows, and I just sent the comment that, of course, on Windows you could use the VCL or FireMonkey version, right, of the charts. But if you want Windows, Mac, and iOS, then it's the FireMonkey version.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep. Okay. What does Jim's asking? What does 1 year subscription mean?
Well, let me introduce you to my partner. He's Mark Moyman, and maybe he will explain very much better than me about this. Okay.
Okay. Hi, this is Mark speaking. 1 year subscription includes access to the support forums and access to any updates that we make available. What you might previously have considered as minor or major updates are continuous and are included in 1 year subscription. There's no obligation for people to renew subscriptions. Licenses remain permanent or persistent. But if they wish to have access to ongoing updates, then that would be the way to go, to renew the annual subscription.
So it's a perpetual license for the version that you have, but then if you're renewing, you're just getting latest versions each year and updates and so on. Okay.
Yeah, and access to support, of course, which is very useful.
Let's see, are the gauges only available in Pro version of VCL FMX? Is there a, I keep forgetting if there's a, feature matrix maybe. Is that where I should go on the website to see the differences and what's included? Here we go.
Yes, here.
Yeah, so I'll and that's the same whether it's, it's got VCL and FireMonkey, got it. So I'm going to paste that for Brian and everybody. And so just go to that link that I put in the log, which has, let's see what we're looking at. Okay, standard, light, standard, and pro. Okay. So again, everybody, just if you want to know what's in which version, that's a big long feature matrix. Yep. Including pricing at the bottom. Okay. If you want to visualize data changes over time, kind of animation, can you manually feed the changing data set and have the chart refresh, update?
Yes, either if you are using live bindings with FireMonkey or DVChart with our Pro version or VCL DVChart, refreshing is automatically, because we are internally using data source objects, normal data source components, and using the on-change data events to refresh the chart. Yes, that's how it works. It's
okay.
Automatically. You can specify auto refresh as a property. We have a property true or false.
Is there Brian's asking, do the gauges work on iOS? Is there anything, if I'm looking at the feature matrix, if it says FireMonkey or FMX, Pro, Standard, Light, whatever, is there, oh, I see. Is there anything specific that works or doesn't work on Windows, Mac, and iOS?
Yeah, more or less everything works the same. Thanks to FireMonkey and the GPU canvas, everything that works on Windows and Mac is showing on iOS.
Okay.
Well, maybe the iOS is a little bit slow because the device is slower than a laptop or desktop, but everything is the same. There are some very small differences on maybe, for instance, how do you paint the shadows behind elements on the chart, but you can always disable that. Or performance issues like if you're using, for instance, axis grid lines with non-solid pen styles, I mean dot pens or dash pens, this is really very slow. You don't notice that when you are dragging or scrolling a chart on Windows, but if you are using an iPad or iPhone and you want to scroll with your finger, there are small things that can be fine-tuned to achieve the good performance, and well, everything is the same, exactly.
From Alf, with the maps, could counties be shown too for other countries than the United States, or is it simple to make new maps?
It depends on map probably.
Well, yeah, we are using some map files. These map files are resources inside packages. You can always get new map files in the same format, in HP SRE format, and there are methods that you can load from file or load from resource or load from stream that files. But well, the idea was to increase the number of maps. We provide the most generic ones like continents and USA states, but
there are many available in the public domain for all sorts of locations.
Is T-Tree still included?
Yes, T-Tree is included in the Pro version for both VCL and FireMonkey. FireMonkey, this has been recently finished last month, I think in April, on the latest update. And then, well, it's working quite the same in VCL than FireMonkey, and for Windows and Macintosh and iOS.
Okay, somebody was asking for the email addresses, the Twitter feed, the Google Plus, and so on. So, Keith, there's the page that was part of David's presentation. So it's just info@steema.com. Okay. And these are Android questions. I'll take care of those. The ADO thing. I'm not sure this first one came in. I'm sorry, Edward. I lost track of the first one. He's talking about T-cube material sign works fine. Looks like he's, oh, that's a FireMonkey 3D question. Okay, Edward, I'll take care of that one. It's not really related necessarily to TeeChart. Okay. Let's see. David has Delphi Pro with Mobile Studio. Is there a demo I could use with this version? TeeChart Lite is included in the Pro Edition. But then, sorry, Delphi Pro Edition. But then, if you want extra capability, again, I refer you to the feature matrix for VCL and FireMonkey. For additional capabilities that you might want. Keith is saying thank you. And if you have other questions, we've got David online for a few more minutes.
Yeah, there's something I would like to,
go ahead.
to explain. I saw yesterday somebody asked about some missing feature in XE4, in the latest update 1, and that's true. This was an oversight from my side. There was one series style, and I really didn't know how I got that source code line commented, but there's a very easy workaround that we will upload to our website so everybody can, it's just one line of code on a very small package. You install this package at design time and you will get again that fast line series install.
Let's see. Brian's asking, any idea if other gauges will be supported or introduced in the future, like thermometers, traffic lights, etc.? And he mentions, for example, in RGraph.
It's almost sure that we will include them. We're looking around constantly about what's available, what we like, and what people like to use, and where possible we add that. So when we respond very much to customer requests, so keep them coming, and we'll try and do that.
Yeah, I mean the number of graph types and chart types is great, both in 2D and 3D. It's just wonderful. And on so many different platforms as well. I mean, again, I guess if I go back, where should I go? Here, I guess. That's just the VCL FMX, but if I go back further, go to home, I guess, the list of, .NET, ActiveX, Java, PHP, the TeeChart Mobile. This is one that I know we have a TeeChart Lite included in HTML5 Builder, but there's even more capabilities in the TeeChart for JavaScript HTML5. All this stuff you can do across multiple platforms, multiple devices, and multiple languages. It's just awesome. So I always direct people to the Steema site and go to the gallery, for example, and you can visually see all sorts of different kinds of charts and dashboards and so on. I don't know, Alpha's asking about free drawing using real-world coordinates like in Borland Pascal object graphics. I mean, I don't know if there's anything as far as free drawing shapes in TeeChart. Is there anything like that, David, or really is that for the person to use the canvas and do free drawing down at the lowest level?
Yes, I mean, there's one TeeChart and also T3 and other visual controls that they are descendants of a generic base class which is called TDraw. And TDraw is like a paint box, like the VCL or FireMonkey paint box component, but you have access to that special or maybe improved canvas, which has many additional methods and properties. And maybe there's the T3 control is maybe more appropriate for that, because T3 you are creating a tree of objects. It's more than a tree, because objects can be linked or unlinked. I mean, You can draw shapes and put them on a canvas. And these shapes are objects or components, so you can access them at design time by code or object inspector. And they get persist to the DFM. So there are many possibilities. You can also free draw over a chart. We have something we call a tool, a draw line tool, but it's more maybe intended for drawing lines only.
David, anything else in the last couple minutes, and then we'll take a break before the top of the hour? No, it was great. It was great, David. No apologies, nothing necessary. The presentation was great. The products are great. You know, all these components that you can use, it's just fabulous, and be able to do it across all the platforms that FireMonkey supports now and into the future is awesome.
Exactly, and maybe the last 2 years, because there was FireMonkey was born, and there was many work just to port from VCL to FireMonkey, and just to keep with the XE2, XE3, XE4. But now, in the last months, and things are much easier now, and we have started improving TeeCharting, more features, more series styles, more components, and well, trying to make everything better or fix things that you say, oh, how many years this needs to be fixed or this needs to be improved. So we hope in the next versions, also for the next XE IDs, you will get much better TeeChart.